Hello everyone, today in this video we will be discussing the first module of computer networks and security, and this subject has a lot of technical topics. So what I will be doing is I will be going through each topic like a brief overview of it, and I will not be going into details, okay. And these are the topics which I have written from the syllabus. So there are quite a lot of topics, so but what I have done is I have seen the previous year papers and collected the important topics, okay. And from each topic I have written the questions which were asked under each topic, and as we go on to the topics we will be discussing the solutions as well, okay. So before moving on, if you like this video, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, okay. So let's get started now. I'll give you a idea of what the module is about. So firstly, in the first module we will be learning about application layer, and we have 7 subtopics in it. The first one is principles of network application, okay, and after that we have the web and HTTP, then a file transfer protocol, and then email, and DNS, internet directory service, peer-to-peer applications, and socket programming, okay. So let's get started from the first one, which is principles of network application, okay. Here we have 4 subtopics. Let's discuss each one by one. Before that, take a look at the questions which were asked in the previous papers in this topic, okay. So the first one is compare client server and peer-to-peer architecture, okay. So in client server and peer-to-peer architecture, what we have is the whatever network application we design, they are mainly of 2 types, the client server and the peer-to-peer, okay. So in client server, what happens is we have the servers here which are the large databases, and what they do is they store the data of the clients, and whenever we make a request to the servers, they fetch the data from it and send back to the clients, okay. That's the working of server client architecture. And what happens in peer-to-peer is that all the clients are connected with each other, and the servers also will be there in the middle, okay. So the main advantage is that if you want to fetch some data, we need not contact the server all the time, okay. We can take the data from the client also, okay. So this is the main difference, and in exam what you have to do is you have to go through the notes and see what is the other differences and the features in it, but this is the main point which I have discussed here, okay. And accordingly you have to write if they ask for the comparison, at least 5 points you have to write, okay. And the next question is, what are the different types of transport services provided by the internet, okay. So as we go on, we will find the answer to this question also, okay. So this was the first subtopic. The second one is process communicating. Process means we all know what is a process, right? A way to perform a task, okay. A process is an instance of a program running in a computer, okay. And these are some of the definitions which we need to know. Client and server process consist of pair process for sending and retrieving data, okay. Client requests some data and the server sends that data, okay. And the interface is nothing but if you have a client and a server here, and API means application programming interface. We can't directly fetch the data from the database. What we have to do is we have to make a request to the API, and the API will fetch the data if it's permitted to, then it will return the data, and that will be transferred to the client, okay. That is API. And the next one is address process, okay. To receive an information we need the address, right? That is determined using IP address and port number, okay. And the third subtopic is transport services available to the applications, okay. So since we have to transfer the data, what are the services provided by the network? See, these are the different services. The first one is reliable data transfer, and throughput means the number of bits being sent from the server to the client. And the third is timing, means it should have a good timing, means it should not delay the data sending. And the fourth one is security, the data should be secure from the losses, okay. And the last subtopic is this is the second question answer, transport services provided by the internet, okay. What are the services provided by the internet? They are mainly of 2 categories, UDP and TCP, okay. TCP is like what happens is before they start, means the client and the server will be there. Before they start, what happens is they exchange the control information, means they agree to exchange the information, and if they both agree to exchange the information, at that time the sending and receiving of the data will happen, and after that the connection will be broken, okay. And the communicating process must deliver the data without error and in proper order. So this is more reliable, TCP, and costlier also. On the other hand, we have UDP, which is faster in sending the data, but there is no handshaking property. That means we would not be sure if the data is reached or not, and it is cheaper and it's comparatively less reliable than the TCP. Okay. Moving on to the second topic, we have the web and HTTP. So take a look at the questions which are asked. We'll be discussing the solution in the upcoming topics. Okay. So let's get started. We have 6 subtopics. The first one is overview. So before starting, we need to know some basic concepts like what is a web page consist of. A web page consists of objects which are written in HTML language. Okay. Hypertext markup language. Okay. And each object and the component present in the web page has an address. Okay, that address is denoted as URL, uniform resource locator. Okay, and it has 2 components, hostname and the path. See this example, we have the website here of a school. This is the hostname and this is the path. Okay, means where exactly we want to go in the website. Okay, and HTTP is a web applications layer protocol. Okay, so the objects are written in the hypertext markup language, and the protocol is HTTP, which is hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, and these are the clients and making the request to the server. Okay, this is the request made and this is the response. Okay, and there are 2 types of connections, non-persistent and persistent. In non-persistent, whenever we want to make a connection, we will have to request again. Okay, whereas in persistent, the connection will be open until all the transfer of the data is over. Okay, we can download multiple things using persistent, and by using non-persistent we use for single file downloads. Okay, and what is the message format? Message are of 2 types. The first one is request message and second is response message. Request line, header line, blank line and entity body. Okay, here we have method, URL and version. The same thing goes for the response also, but there is a slight difference. Okay, this is when we are sending a request to the server. This is the format which we send. Okay, in exam you have to make this diagram and we have to explain what each of the topic means. So an example is here. We have the URL here and we have some more information regarding the if it's accepted or not and what's the language and the version and all. Okay, so this was for the request. What about response? The same thing here also we have the version, status code and all. So take a look at it and it's not that different than the previous one, and the example is here. And what happens is we'll be sending the we'll be getting this response. Okay, before that we send the message, now we'll get the response. The response will have the connection type and the date and the server which it uses and the last modified date and the content length, and you get the point, right? The information of the document will get as the response. Okay, and while surfing in the web you might have seen cookies, right? What does cookie mean? Cookie means they keep a track of users data. Okay, what happens is when you enter a website, it will keep a track of your information of what all you click, of which for example e-commerce website. Okay, if you selected a mobile phone here and you saw its price and all and the other information, and next time you open this website you will be recommended with more this type of product. Okay, that is done by the cookies. Okay, it has 4 components: response message, request message, users and system, and backend database. Okay, caching we already know. If it happens in the web, it's known as web caching. Here we will have an extra server here which will act as a cache. Okay, when we request something for the first time, it will be fetched from here and a copy will be stored here. So if we request again, we need not request from here, we can take from here only. That will save a lot of time. Okay, that's known as web caching. The next one is conditional get. Conditional get means if we request something, like for the get there are many codes. Okay, like get, post, delete and all. Okay, what about get? Get means we are checking if the our website was modified or not. Okay, so for that what we will do is we will specify the address, means which website, and if modified since. Okay, this is the date and the time we will mention here. After this date and time, if it's modified, it will show as modified, or else it will show as not modified. Okay, this is the request and this is the response. Okay, if you want to get that information, we can obtain by conditional get statement. Okay, next one is the file transfer protocol. In FTP we have the question of the previous year, which is explain the FTP commands and replies. In FTP we have used to get the files from the server to our computer, and what are the FTP commands and replies. Okay, so these are the codes which we use. The commands are sent from the client to the server, and the server will send the replies, okay, along with the information. And the commands format is that it has 4 uppercase letters like user, pass, list, retrieve, store, and the reply will have 3-digit numbers. Okay, like username for other codes will have other numbers. Okay, and the next one is email. Okay, in email we have a question like what is write a short note on SMTP. SMTP means simple mail transfer protocol. Okay, it has two sides, the client side and the server side. It is 7-bit ASCII code, and here's how it works. Okay, it initiates a TCP connection, and if the connection is established, they perform handshaking, means they are ready to exchange the information. Okay, finally the data is transferred and the connection is ended. Okay, and there are 3 protocols for mail access, that is POP, which is post office protocol. That is the same thing here. The user agents at the client computer opens a TCP connection, and then the progress happens after asking the username and password, and if it's authenticated. Okay, and then the data is transferred. IMAP is same as the previous one, but it has more features. You can consider it as an advanced version of POP, and the function remains same. Okay, and the last one is web based email. If you want to access email through web, we'll be using this protocol. By using the HTTP, we can access the email through web also. Okay, let's now talk about DNS, the Internet's Directory Service. Have a look at the questions. Let's discuss about the services provided by DNS. So what are the services provided by Internet Directory Service? Firstly, it extracts the host name and from the URL and passes the host name to the client side of the application. Okay, so this is the host name which is passed on to the client. Okay, and then it services what is to be done, and we'll look at the hierarchy after some time. And what happens is, in the protocol, it allows the host to query the database, distributed database. Okay, so it will fetch all the information, and it also provides some more additional features, which is host aliasing, which means if a host name is too complicated, that can be changed with easier name as an alias name. So with both the names you can access the same website. The same thing can be done for the mail server also. And load distribution means all the data is not present in a single system, it's distributed among various systems. Okay, now let's look at the hierarchy. The hierarchy of DNS is as follows. The root DNS will be here, and here will be the sub DNS, which is com DNS and org DNS and edu DNS. Okay, so these are the different domains. For each we will have a DNS server, and under this we'll have the application parts like Yahoo, Amazon, PLS, and these are the education sectors. Okay, and if you want to access any IP address, what happens is we'll start from here. Okay, we'll start from here, whichever we want, we'll send the request to each of these, and they will fetch which client is asking the information, and from their database the information will be extracted and sent to the server. Okay, so this is how DNS works, and there are many messages placed in the records. Okay, see, different records will be there, and in each record the similar type of messages will be stored. Messages is nothing but the data of the clients. Okay, and each message has these 4 parts: header section, question and answer section, and authority section. This will have the information about these domains. Okay, and next is peer-to-peer application. The question is explain P2P for file distribution architecture. Okay, peer-to-peer we have already discussed before, which means all the clients will be connected with each other, so it's not needed that we always contact the server. We can fetch the data from the client also. Okay, so in peer-to-peer architecture, peer acts both as a client and server. Okay, sometimes it sends the information, sometimes it gets the information. Okay, and in P2P architecture, peer did not and necessarily download a copy from the server. Okay, it's not necessary that we download from the server only, we can take from the client also. Okay, and this is how it's arranged. These are the chain of clients which are connected, and they share the information with each other, and the server is also here and the database is here. Okay, this is the file distribution for the P2P architecture. And see here the difference. This is the time taken. Okay, if you use client to server architecture, it will take a lot of time for the same amount of files. You can see it's taking a lot amount of time here for suppose that 50 files. Okay, and here it's taking less amount of time. So therefore P2P is always encouraged to be installed in your organization. Okay, and another one is a distributed hash table. Here, what is a hash table? Hash table will have 2 things: key and value. Okay, key and value. If you enter any key here, that will have an associated value with it. In future, if you want to retrieve that value, you have to enter the key, the value will be retrieved to us. Okay, the same thing can be applied for the peer-to-peer connection also. Any peer can insert and retrieve the pair values, and the connection is made as follows. Okay, each peer will have 2 connections with the other nodes as well as for the neighboring nodes. Okay, suppose that when a peer asks for a key, like for example 10 is asked. Okay, so 10 is here, 11 is asked. Okay, 11 is asked, what happens, it will compare with 1, then in clockwise direction it will go, 3 is more closer, 4, 5, 8, 10 is more closer to 11, so 10 is selected. Okay, in that way the distributed hash table works. Okay, and the last one is socket programming. So the question under this topic is demonstrate the socket implementation using TCP and UDP. See, go through the notes because it has a more technical concept, but the main idea I will tell you. Okay, TCP is slower but reliable transfer, and the applications are email and web browsing. Okay, means if you want to send some important information, but it has to be reached to the receiver end. Okay, it may take time, but the receiving in the end is more important. Okay, at that time go with TCP, else UDP will transfer fast, but it's not guaranteed that it will be safe from errors and loss of data. That can be used in the audio and video streaming because the data is not that much important. Okay, so this is all what is there as a brief overview in this module. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one.